Dr. Reena here. I'm a dental specialist and founder of RW Perio, located at 75 Harley Street. Welcome to my podcast, Life and Smile, where we talk about everything dental, lifestyle, business, and much more. Every episode, I'm joined in conversation with a specialist expert in their chosen field, who give us a behind-the-scenes glimpse into their daily regime, career turning points, and an insider look at what they can't live without. As a businesswoman myself, it's so inspiring to hear how people have built their careers and shattered those glass ceilings. So let's get the conversation going. Welcome back to the first season of Life and Smile. We have a very special guest joining us for this episode, and I'm sure you'd agree that Sarah Harris needs no introduction, but let me give you some background on her inspirational career so far. Sarah is currently the Global Network League and European Deputy Editor for British Vogue. She's had nearly 2 decades worth of experience within the fashion industry and magazine world. Sarah started her career at Tatler, W Magazine, WWD, before joining Vogue around 18 years ago, where she worked her way up to deputy editor, starting as a fashions feature writer and then editor before becoming director and deputy editor. She's a favourite with street style photographers for her minimalistic and contemporary effortless style, where quality wardrobe staples define her style. I've always been inspired by Sarah's career, and it's been such a pleasure looking after her smile over the last year. Welcome, Sarah. So pleased to have you at Harley Street.
Thanks so much for having me.
So you've had a really interesting and inspirational career so far, and you've been in the fashion industry for circa 2 decades now, where the 360-degree language of magazines and media has changed dramatically during that time, largely with the onset of the digitalisation and consumerism demand for instant access. So do you agree that the landscape has changed over the last 2 decades since you started your career?
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I'm pretty sure when I started Vogue, there wasn't even a website.
Wow.
So yeah, it's dramatically changed. And now, of course, with social media too, and Vogue Video, you know, it's a job that goes well beyond the pages of a magazine and the idea of print. And I think it's changed the job in so many ways. You know, now when we think about stories and concepts, we're always thinking of how to present them in a 360-degree way. You know, it's not just about, okay, how is this going to look in the magazine? It's also, what can we do on social media? What's the video that we can make alongside this story? So yeah, it's hugely changed.
It's unimaginable in Vogue not having a website and literally just being printed. So do you think it's a good thing it's gone that way?
Yeah, I do, and I think it's I think it's made the industry a lot more inclusive. I think having free access to us as editors and to have that insight into our world and what we're liking and who we're reviewing and who we're profiling. I think it's great.
Great. So going back to the beginning, almost 2 decades ago, tell us a little bit more about sort of what prompted you to start your career in this industry and how it all happened.
So I always knew that I wanted to work at Vogue magazine. I think since I was maybe, 10 or 11 years old, I used to always buy the magazine, and I would often sort of look through the pages and cut things out and stick things together and sort of make my own magazine from the magazine.
Amazing.
So I'd sort of do my own layouts, and I would write stories and things. So it's weird. So I think I always knew what I wanted to do, which I think helped me really sort of guide my studies towards trying to achieve that.
Yeah. What made you interested in it in the first place? Was it or just the passion
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where it comes from. My parents don't work in fashion. Right. I grew up in Winchester, in Hampshire. I really wasn't surrounded by it as a child, but I always loved clothes.
Yeah. Meant to be. So your career, you've had lots of things happen over the last 2 decades. And I know it's hard to define, but if you had to pick sort of a career turning point or a proud moment during the time, would you be able to pinpoint something or?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there are so many sort of, proud moments or pinch me moments,
Yes.
or and I've been at Vogue for a really long time. Like you said, I think it's 18
Yes.
years or so. I worked there firstly alongside Alexandra Shulman, and then when Edward Enninful came in, sort of 4 or 5 years ago. So it's been amazing just to see how much it's changed over that time, and to just have access to these incredible designers and incredible talent, and to be at fashion shows. And I think it's such a privilege, actually, to be able to experience that on a daily basis.
Yeah. Has the time flown by over the last two sort of
Yeah.
18 years? Or
Yeah, it has. Yeah, it really has. It doesn't feel like I've been there 18 years.
No.
And it's a job that changes all the time,
Yes.
and as you said, I joined there as a fashion features writer, and I'm now deputy editor. So
Yes.
the breadth of work has changed enormously. But I still love it. I still love making a magazine, and yeah.
Just as much as you did when you were 10 years old.
Exactly.
Amazing. So you're particularly known for your effortless and minimalistic style.
Lazy style.
No, it's you have a strong emphasis on, I think, quality and day-to-day wardrobe basics that you can elevate day to night. What would be your go-to investment survival pieces for professionals who also have a demanding lifestyle and careers that make, they always have to look polished at a moment's notice? I know most of us are living in the city, we're time poor. In my personal experience, I'm sometimes in surgery for 12 hours and I have to go to meetings or a press event. So, I mean, do you have, because you always look effortlessly amazing, do you have any tips on for people who have that kind of lifestyle? How do you make it work?
I mean, I always think buy less and buy better. Like,
Yes.
I'm not someone who will go out and and buy a ton of clothes. I've never really done that. I'm very kind of specific on the pieces that I choose. If it's a black blazer, then I want it to be the best black blazer that I can afford and that I can have. I think if you invest in quality fabrics and great design, I think it always helps. And then I mean, I very rarely wear color. I mean, I wear navy and khaki. I think is about as colorful as I get. And very simple shapes and silhouettes. I sort of rotate pretty much from a great tracksuit trouser, which I've put with a cashmere jumper and a tailored blazer, or I love trouser suits. I've got a great, loads of great white shirts. And then I think it's just about putting those pieces. I think when you have a wardrobe of neutral colors and very kind of simple shapes, then I find that everything kind of goes with everything. Yeah.
So you don't have to think about it.
So you don't have to think about it. Exactly.
The most stressful thing, I guess, is when you've got a busy day and you're spending like half an hour. What am I going to wear? So you just want to pull something out the wardrobe, and it all goes.
Exactly. Which is also great when you travel. I mean, we're back traveling a bit now, thankfully, post COVID. If I can say post COVID, I'm not sure.
Almost.
but yes, and that's what I do before I go away for Fashion Week. What I often do is I plan exactly what I'm going to take. So I'll look at the forecast, I'll see what the weather's doing.
Yes.
And then I'd stay, to do like 6 days of outfits. So, okay, day 1, I'm going to wear this, day 2, this, day 3, day 4. And I plan everything before I go. So, which it saves you so much time in the morning.
And extra luggage.
And extra luggage, exactly. If you just take what you know you're going to wear and what you know you're going to need. I think it helps a lot.
I mean, I'm the same. I used to buy tons of clothes and then wear them once or twice. And I realized I completely agree. Having a smaller wardrobe, the cost per use is really important.
I mean, I think it's something you learn as you get older. 100%. I think for sure. I think when you're young, it's fun to go shopping and buy stuff that maybe you're only going to wear a handful of times. But I think definitely as you get older, and I think in terms of sustainability, you think about landfill right now. I mean, it's it's kind of crazy, this throwaway idea, which I think is so kind of outdated now.
Yeah, I completely agree. So you've had a very successful career to date, and from your personal inspiration and how you've progressed over the last 18 years. I know for me, there's always people around me that inspire me, or things that I read, books that I read, that helps me kind of take me to the next level. If you're going through a challenging time, you really need that. Do you have the same? I mean, do you have a mentor? Do you have certain books that you read to help you get through? Because I'm sure you've had many challenges along the route.
Yeah, there have, but I don't know. I sort of really believe in, everything happens for a reason.
Yes.
And I think when you go through challenging times, think about, I guess you don't in the moment, but there's always something that comes out of it that you've learned or that you've,
Yes.
discovered about yourself. Or, my very first interview for Vogue, I didn't get the job. And it was a position for a fashion assistant.
Yes.
And I remember I interviewed with Kate Phelan, and I just came from London College of Fashion, where I got a degree in fashion journalism, and I got a first in my degree. And Kate's main concern was, you're a writer and you're a journalist, and I'm just concerned that, you're going to be doing fashion returns and you're going to be on set and you're not using your skill set.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, but I really want the job. I really want to work at Vogue.
Yeah.
and I got down to the last two, and I didn't get it. And I think it was because of that, because I think she saw that, it's not the right job for you. Yeah. And then I think, a few months went by, and then, I got a job working at W and Women's Wear Daily.
Yeah.
And I was there for 2 years, and then a job came up as a fashion features writer. And that was a job that I got. And I'm so grateful that I didn't get that first job at Vogue, because, I did want to be writing, even though I pretended. No, I want to be a fashion assistant.
No, I think that's I think the mantra of, everything happens for a reason can really help you through anything. And I think at the time you sometimes don't see that, that's happened. It's only years later you turn back and think, thank God that door didn't open and the other one did.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's such a good motto. In terms of our industry, so obviously we're from separate industries, but there are some similarities. So it's quite fast-paced. We're working sort of minute-to-minute deadlines, constantly dealing with a variety of people, both in-house team, brands, other professionals, and you constantly, from our sort of mindset perspective, you have to have an editorial mindset as well as a commercial mindset as well. So there's lots of links. From my perspective, I know how intense it is to build a brand successfully. Are there any strategies that you've put in place as your career has grown over the years to ensure that you always feel sort of the best version of yourself?
Yeah, I think you have to be really careful when it comes to compromising, actually. And I think so long as you stay true to yourself and authentic to yourself, whether that's across the board, it can mean anything. But I think have the courage of your conviction. And I think, that's also something that I've seen Edward do so much. When he arrived at Vogue, he had his very clear idea and vision of how he wanted Vogue to be. And honestly, it was probably, a bit of a risk. But Edward always said, I'm gonna do this, and this is the way I want to make this magazine. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't work, then I'll leave. But at least I'll be grateful and thankful that I did exactly what I wanted to do, and I did it how I wanted to do it. So I think that's really important.
Maintaining integrity, no matter what the situation is. And in that way, I guess if you look back, you'll still be proud of yourself, regardless of whether
what the outcome was.
Absolutely. So you face challenges across your career. For someone who's starting up, so someone who really looks up to you and wants to be, that's someone who's very young, wants to be in Vogue, wants to work at Vogue. What would be your advice to them? And looking back now, would you have done anything differently at all?
Good question. I don't know that I would have, but I think for anyone who wants to get into the industry today, I think you're so lucky, because there are so many more platforms now in which you're able to broadcast, right? Whether that's Instagram, or whether that's setting up your blog, or doing something on YouTube, or I think there are so many ways to show your creativity and your passion. Whereas I think 20 years ago it was, you just, for me, it was like I just had to get my foot in the door at Vogue. There was no real other way of sort of, showing how how to do it, I guess. So I think in some ways it's made it easier for people to really, start now, whether you write a blog or start an Instagram on something that you're passionate about, or whatever it is. But I think just get going and don't give up.
Right. I think it's make the most of the platforms we have now. Everyone wants to hear your voice, so so currently in your day-to-day life, so it's obviously probably every single day is different, I'm sure, but exciting, intense, and fun. What do you have a typical day? Describe day in the life of Sarah Harris. What would that consist of?
There's not really a typical day. I mean. Right now we're going to the office 3 days a week.
Okay.
So Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays we're in the office, and then we work from home Mondays and Fridays.
Yeah.
So I guess when we're in the office, we try and get together quite often, physically in a meeting room and go over stuff.
Yeah.
We might have every month we do a cover lines meeting.
Right.
We catch up on production cycles, deadlines. Office-based days are very much sort of in and out of Edward's office.
Yeah.
Planning issues, getting copy together, signing off pages, doing the running order of the magazine. And then the days spent at home are probably more on Zoom calls, actually. I mean, there's Zooms also in the office all day, but I feel like Mondays and Fridays are the days that I kind of really spend on Zoom calls. So, having meetings with PRs, setting up stories for future issues.
Right.
And then, of course, right now it's Fashion Week. So we just finished London Fashion Week.
Yes.
So that was a busy time running around at the shows in stormy weather, which was not the best weather for Fashion Week. And then Milan shows start tomorrow, I think, and then we go into Paris.
Wow. Busy. That's nice. I think every day is different, every season different. So it's always something to look forward to, I guess, in your diary.
Exactly. It's always varied. Yeah.
So I guess as an editor, you're working from home, you're working in the office, out and about in meetings and so on. I have to ask you, I guess your desk is kind of your base as to where you do all the magic happens.
Yeah.
If you had to pick 3 things that you always have on your desk to keep you functioning, and it's probably a tricky question, but what would those 3 things be? I know for me, I've always got my laptop.
What about you?
My laptop I have with me all the time. Everyone knows it's got my life in it. Can't lose it. It's been backed up a million times. So, but laptop, I usually have my writing file where I just work on edits and so on. I generally have some coffee with me at some point and water, which will keep me fueled.
Yeah.
What would be yours?
So definitely laptop, phone, coffee, for sure. I would say lip balm.
Yeah, okay.
I always need lip balm, like within a sort of arm's reach. And I have a little pot of hair bands as well, because I can't bear to be without a hairband.
Great. Well, listen, thank you so much for your time. I know you're a super busy woman, so
pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Really insightful speaking to you. Is there anything we should look out for in terms of things coming up? Where can we find you? Tell us more.
Not much I can say, because I still just buy Vogue. I mean, you'll see it coming up.
Fine.
But there's lots we're working on. Lots of exciting stories we're working on right now. We're putting our April issue to bed, working on May and June issues already. And then Paris Fashion Week is coming up, so
we'll look out
lots of excitement there, I'm sure.
Lots of updates, absolutely. Thank you so much, Sarah Harris, for
Pleasure.
your time. Really enjoy the conversation. I'm
Thank
sure
you.
all the listeners will enjoy it just as much as I did.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You're welcome.